We'll now open for questions from the floor. As per norm, we've got 2 roving mics. Please identify yourself as well as the media company you represent prior to asking your question. Do we have any questions from the floor? Second row.
Good afternoon, Coach. I just want to pick your brain on Pepe. He just seems to be evolving quite well, and he's been at the club for quite a while. He's been out on a few loan spells, but he just seems to have made that position kind of his own now. Maybe just what can you say about him and just the evolution of the player?
I think we have an excellent material in general in every position, and the back line is not an exception. Everybody is working so hard to get the minutes, to get the play time, and yeah, obviously the ones who are getting more protagonism, more minutes on the field, they are in a good level. There's evolution in many of our players right now, but it's more about the way the team must be well organized and focused to defend as a collective, to build up as a collective as well, and not really focusing in the individuals one more time. It's going well today.
Afternoon, Coach and skipper. Very low from the CBC here. Coach, you coming from Cape Town with 1 goal advantage based on the rules of the competition. Is it something that really matters to you with playing here at Orlando Stadium as Scotty? A win is a must.
No, we don't have other way to approach the games than trying to win. As much as we play when we are ourselves and we behave in that way and we keep that level of ambition, the things are used to go well for us, and that's what we know. So we are not preparing ourselves tomorrow to protect the lead or to speculate with the away goal or not. We know that winning the game, we are in the final, right? Is it? So we're gonna try to win the match. In the end of the game, if we go to the last stages of the game and the result is 0-0, well, then many things can happen at that time. We're gonna try to play for the result. We're gonna try to play to win the match at home with our fans. I'm sure there's gonna be a decent crowd tomorrow in Orlando, and our way to approach each and every game is to win. If we are not a team to only focus in protecting the lead, and like I said in the beginning of my answer, things used to go well for us when we are ourselves, and ourselves is going to the games to win.
Gentlemen, from this Sipho Chaine has been quite brilliant for the team, not just this season, but even last season, putting up great performance in the final, and unsurprisingly was rewarded with the Bafana collab. What do you make of Sipho's growth since he's been at the club and getting regular sort of starting berth and the position and goal? And what is it that it brings to the club? I mean, I know in the documentary it was revealed that he even played one of the games after bereavement and kept it away from some of the teammates. But in terms of what he brings to the team on and off.
The question is to me or to the captain?
It's to you, Sipho's growth since he's come into the team.
Well, I think to be in the national team in the end is a consequence of, for each and every player, is a consequence of the team doing well. Especially when you speak about big teams like Orlando Pirates. when we are performing as a collective, I think individuals gets those type of rewards. Right now we have a good number of players in the national team. I think actually the national team coach expressed himself many times in the recent years that talking about collectives and teams that are doing well as a collective and teams that are not doing well as a collective as well. It's helping them to do the selection, and I think the number of players in the national team, including the one that you mentioned before, is a consequence of everybody performing in a good level, getting good results, playing good football, etc., etc., etc. So I'm glad and happy for each and every individual who managed to represent the national team. It's something that makes us feel very proud, all of us. But especially, like I said, because it's a symptom of the team performing well.
Good afternoon, Coach. My name is Jose Riveiro from Soweto. My question to you this afternoon, with these matches coming thick and fast, and obviously the postponement of the match this week, which obviously affected your planning. Are we gonna be seeing you starting to make like changes, not rotation per se, but starting to make some changes, or are you gonna be sticking to your like trusted?
You don't want to say rotations. No, like I said before, I think. Whatever change is coming tomorrow, in case that there's any modification, adaptation, or new phase in the start 11 or in the 20, it's because we feel that can help us to get the result that we are looking for, and not because there's a change in the schedule or we feel that players are not capable to repeat and replicate another good performance in a space of 2 or 3 days.
Coach, good afternoon. Coach, you've been here before, I think now, dating back to Middlesbrough and Sundowns, of course, in away to 1, away to Stellenbosch, and loss here at home. And now 1-1 away to Cape Town, and then we have a second leg. Are there any similarities between the previous semi-finals and this competition coming into this one, or is there any different? Does this one feel very different to the rest of the competition?
I think the similarities are related with the level of the opponents. Cape Town City is an excellent side, the same way that Stellenbosch was a very tough opponent 1 year ago. And what can I say about Sundowns in our first season here together? So that's the similitude. We are playing a Super Cup. It's a competition among the best 8 teams last season, and we didn't finish in the top 8 by chance. It's because every side is a good one, every squad is powerful. It's an opportunity for all of us to fight for a title in a short space of time. So it's a huge opportunity for the players as an individuals, for the teams, for the clubs. That's where the similitude is. It's 1 game away, 1 game at home, the double value, blah, blah, blah. So all of those things are the same, but for me, if I have to highlight something, is the level of the opponents is good in each and every game in this competition, because, like I said, you're talking about we have to give credit to that top 8, that if the teams are in this competition is because they did it well few months ago, not 1 year ago, just few months ago, and that's why this tournament is, in my opinion, a good test and an important one in our schedule.
Coach, the game was postponed on on Tuesday to Wednesday, few hours just before kickoff. How did it play on the mind of the players, and how did you cite the players to say we are not playing today, we are playing tomorrow? Did it affect the guys, or did it affect any preparations?
if I say that it didn't, obviously we have to adjust our schedule. We have to use the day in a different way, because modern football, we are all following similar, let's say, but can be different. It depends on the team, but similar week structure where we try to do a good administration of the efforts, and the preparation have a specific order, and having your -1 and then you don't have your game is putting you in a scenario where you are not used to be. So we need to figure out the way to keep the players ready for the competition, knowing that the game is going to be 24 hours later than what we expect. Keep the players in a good space, peaceful, confident. Is one more day to rest, but at the same time is not one day only just to be resting. Let's say you have to do some other stuff that can keep the players in a good space for the next day. So it's an obstacle for us, the same that it was an obstacle for Cape Town City. We were both in the same scenario, and we tried to readjust the schedule and our situation as good as we could.
Coach, looking at the previous match where you could have gone anywhere, but it was played away, what is it that you have put your emphasis on in terms of preparing for tomorrow's match, when you're looking at how that match was played, the pace, and having said that everybody is looking at Pirates, and you guys are definitely the team to beat, but you're playing at home.
No.
What have you got what have you had to work on with the boys?
I did say that everybody is looking at Pirates because there's no other games in TV right now in the past weeks, not because everyone is. Don't say things that I didn't say, please. And where do we put the emphasis? We put the emphasis in, like I said in the beginning of the press conference, that we playing home. That's an extra for us in terms of motivation and willing to do the things in the right way, because we always asking, and it happens from the last year and our first season together. We really want to see Orlando packed and full in every game we play home, and it's our responsibility to offer good performances, good shows, good games, so then the people will come without even ask, you know. I think we had an excellent crowd in the quarterfinals against Supersport. It was amazing to play home against Disciples. If you compare our game, our first preliminary round of Champions League last season, the game we played home against Jabal, and the crowd that we have against Disciples is totally different, and we have to continue offering a good performance for the people to finish our games at home, and the people must be checking already the schedule and see when we play again, because they really want to come and see us playing football. So is where our mind is, and like I said before, we know that the winning at home is taking us to the final, and that's all we need to do. We need to win the match. We're playing home, we want to win. These guys are a big bunch of winners there in the locker room. They always want to win. When we don't get the result, we are not happy. And although our intention, final one, is to be in the final, trust me that we don't want to do it through a 0-0. We want to do it winning at home and having again the opportunity to show that we can be the better team tomorrow.
Final 3 questions.
Yes. Coach, this fixture, especially here at Orlando Stadium, has been characterized by exciting performances from both teams in the past. And I'm trying to visualize tomorrow's game in terms of what needs to happen for both sides. And with a big crowd here, how important is game management on your side, irrespective of what the score will be saying at the time? And And I'm basing this on how you started well, especially in Cape Town, and also Relebo Helium giving him his problems on the wings and Saddam on the other side.
How important the management will be? I guess it's gonna be important, yes. As usually, it's 90 minutes, many things, many different games will be played during the 90 minutes, and we always try to control better than the opponent all of the different phases. The recent game is an example. I think we have a good first half, and suddenly we were not in a good space early in the second half. Cape Town City was better than us, and in that time, in that certain period, I think we could have, or we should have, things that we didn't, and we learned. We tried to be more prepared for the next challenge, which is the same team. We don't know if with the same game plan, a different one, but we need to be ready to first to take the initiative before they do. So it's Cape Town City who is adjusting and not us, and managing, like you said, and not us. And when it's time for us to do it, to do it nice and early and try to control the game as good as we can.
Good afternoon, from YFM. Coach, just similar to Orlando Pirates, Cape Town City also has a mix of experienced players and young, talented players. Just an idea on how you plan to approach their dynamic squad, considering the performance they had in the first game.
Thank you for the first question about Cape Town City. I think it's an excellent team, like you said, with a good combination of experienced players like Macaringe, Mokocho, the people who is playing at the back, Darren, people who knows how to play games and how to win games, and then the contribution of the youngsters, like we showed the other day, the striker, Rhodes. I think is a difficult team, very dynamic. Especially they were very dynamic in the second half, much more active on the ball, and it's a team that, in my opinion, they have the capacity to control the games through the ball, but also they have it's a difficult team to deal with the speed up front, with Gonzalez, with Rhodes, players who can create problems when you are going to press them high, and they show it. I think is a team that did the things very well in the. Well, here is winter time. I mean, during the off period of season, with good recruitment, signing quality players and experienced players at the same time, which is a guarantee of good performances in the future for them. And in my eyes, is one of the teams to not only to give them respect. We give respect to each and every opponent, but I think it's gonna be one of the teams who's gonna fight for the top positions, no doubts.
Final question? You can raise your hand now. You're supposed to raise your hand, that's why I kept taking it back. Wait for the microphone. First we raise our hands, then we wait for the microphone. Now you can ask. Identify yourself to the coach and captain.
Good afternoon, coach and captain. My name is Kasim Mesane from News. Question is for coach. Heading into the semi-final, you have an away goal advantage. I would just like to find out tactically whether the team will be playing offensively or defensively to end up progressing into the final.
Thank you for the question. Like I said before, we want to be ourselves, and again, to be ourselves, we need to play to win the match. We need to try to play in Cape Town City half as much as we can, and our intention is to be offensive when we have the ball and be defensive when we don't have it. This game is not about what we want to be. It's about knowing in advance that the opponent is going to have maybe a 50 or 40% of possession, who knows if even more, because like I said, they have the capacity to hold it. And when it's time to defend, we have to be defensive, and when it's time to attack, we have to be offensive. That's how we want to play football. We don't want to be only one side of the game. We want to be complete. We want to be resilient and strong in each and every phase of the game. But if you ask me about the approach, like I said already a couple of questions before, our intention is to, like I said, we know that winning the match, we are in the final, and that's what we want.